Hi guys, I just got home from work, so I'm gonna go out and check the garden. There were some things that were starting to bloom yesterday, so I thought I'd bring you along with me so we can see if there's anything new. The strawberries that I planted are doing really well. I've just been coming in and picking off the blossoms as they come through because I'm trying to get these plants to get really strong and root really well in the ground. It's already too late for strawberries this year. It's June, so I'm hoping that next year we'll actually be able to get some strawberries. The chard that I put in a couple weeks ago is doing really well. I mean, we still have some bug activity, but I've got my one lone asparagus crown that bloomed. Here in my squash patch, 2 pumpkins back here. I'll probably have to pull one of those out. I don't know, I may see what they do. And here's 2 more pumpkins. These are starting to get little blooms on them, so I hope to see some flowers from them soon. Behind me, this bed has been a little lackluster. The beans really struggled due to the aphids. Oh, and they're back. They're everywhere on the healthy shoot that's trying to come through. I planted some of the nasturtiums in that are doing so well in the other bed. These are both cantaloupe seeds. The cucumbers are starting to finally grow. Yeah, this one hopefully will start to do something. I have a couple of cucumber seedlings. I watched a video about a guy who uses multiple cucumber plants throughout the season, and since the ones in this bed have been not doing fantastic, I thought I'd plant some backups. The lemongrass is doing well. The onions. My rhubarb continues to get new leaves. My brassica patch is looking okay. The thing that had been doing best in the beds, the cabbages, have started looking less than great. I got a lot of leaves off of this one because it was looking really unhealthy and they were sitting on the ground. I'm not really sure what's happening. This one seems okay. Broccolis are doing okay for the most part. We've got a little tiny broccoli crown right here. These beans are the ones that are getting the least eaten, although they have not been safe from attack. Oh, this one has quite a bit of ant activity on it. I'm gonna have to come through and pick some of the aphids off, spray with neem oil since it's supposed to be dry for a couple of days. My tomato bed is doing okay. These plants, I don't know if I just pull them or what. If you have any suggestions for these, can they be saved or should I just pull them? I almost thought of leaving them as sacrificial plants, hoping maybe I'd get some beans. It's not looking well. I'm starting to get some tomato blossoms on my paste tomatoes here, since the weather's finally warming up a little bit. My peppers are starting to come into blossom. My poor basil, which has been getting crushed by bugs. Hopefully now that it's finally starting to heat up, I'll get a break from the slugs. This poor serrano plant, they have loved it. I tried to replant one of my nasturtiums over here. Doesn't look like it worked. One thing of lettuce. Some tomatoes coming in. Now this bed looks good. We've got some carrots finally starting to grow. Zucchinis and summer squashes. These beans are doing better. I finally got some blooms on my flowers. Apparently these are edible. So I'm gonna try and eat some. The whole plant is the leaves, the stems. I haven't tried them yet. Tarragon is doing well here, which I have never grown tarragon before, and I really like it. My calendula hopefully is not gonna get crowded out here. This one I've got some zucchini blossoms. I'm hoping to get this to go up this trellis here. Then I have another zucchini. Two growing pretty close together. I don't know, I may have to pull one of these. I'm gonna see what it does. And then these beans have survived. So maybe I just pull them from the tomato bed. Good morning, everyone. The reality of gardening is, as much as I love it, 50% of the time I also hate it and feel really defeated by it, and that's kind of how I've been feeling the past couple of days. I pulled one of my bean plants. It just looked so terrible and absolutely wasn't healthy. The aphids have spread now to the beans that I have in the brassica patch, so I'm just trying to determine what to do. I did watch another video on YouTube that said basically if you plop a garden down like just right in grass, then you're gonna have issues with bugs. And the fact that I'm in a suburban environment, there's not a whole lot of plant diversity, regardless of the fact that, you know, we don't spray our yard and we kind of let weeds come in as they need. The fact of the matter is this may just be a struggle that I have to have this year as I'm doing my first big garden until plants start coming back. So anyway, today I'm also doing another not fun task of, I put a tarp behind me here, and I'll show you in a portion of the garden that just hasn't done so well. I put blueberries back there last year and they just didn't get enough sunlight, so they didn't grow. And I tried to do some flower seeds this spring and nothing grew. So I put a tarp down trying to kill all the grass and all the weeds and everything that are coming through. And all the neighborhood cats have decided that they want to poop on it. So I've got many piles of poop in with water since it's been constantly raining. So that's what I'm doing. I am trying to dump this poopy water tarp. We got strawberries at the farmer's market last week, and we did not eat them all, so we froze them. I'm just adding them to the last bit of small bags that we had from the big batch I did a couple weeks ago. And I grabbed some cherries this week at the farmer's market. Those are starting to come into season. So I'm going to wash, dry, and hit those, which I'll obviously put you on a time lapse for. We just got back from the farmer's market, and this is the biggest cabbage I've ever seen. I don't know if you can tell by the size, but it's about the size of a basketball. So we're gonna have to figure out what to do with some of that. And I grabbed some onions. I'm gonna make some onion stock. Can't even cut through it. Serrated knife. All right, one cabbage. We've got enough for the week. We have a bowl. This I'm gonna blanch and freeze. And this one I'm gonna try and make sauerkraut with. But I have a recipe and I'm gonna follow it. All right, so I need 1 to 2 tablespoons. I'm gonna use 1. And then you have to use your hands and massage it into the cabbage. Make sure everything's good and coated because it will bring the liquid out, which is what you need to submerge the cabbage. Now I am gonna let that sit. As you can see, it is gloomy on the weekend yet again. We have yet to have sunshine during a weekend. Thankfully, it's not raining. It did rain last night, and there is a little chance of rain, I think, this evening and overnight, which just makes it so that I don't have to water. So I'm not gonna complain about that. Not much happening in the garden. I did pull out 4 of my bean plants because they just were looking really ragged, and I felt like they were being more detrimental, attracting more pests than they were being beneficial. So hopefully the 4 that I have left are going to produce some beans. Again, I'm trying to view this year just as a big experiment. I apologize for the sirens in the background. I do live right down the street from our local fire station, so you never know when they're gonna pop up. I've just been cleaning up some leaves, not really much happening, so today I'm gonna pot up some of the flower starts that I've been working on. I have some stuff going in the house. So I started a vegetable stock. We had quite a few vegetable scraps frozen in the freezer. Some were corn cobs left over from last year that we didn't use for anything, so I have a big pot of that starting. I'm gonna can up today. I have some bread in the bread maker, and now I'm just going to work on potting up some of these flowers so that way I can place them around the garden. I will pretty much cook this all day. I'm gonna let it cook for a couple of hours just in the hot, and then I'll pressure cook it. If I was doing like chicken stock or pork stock using bones, I would actually cook it overnight, but since it's just vegetables, I really just want to get the flavor out of those. I've got some yummy bread going in my bread maker here. Say hello, Tater Tot. Alright, I am just packing up what I got preserved this weekend to throw in the freezer and in the pantry downstairs. I was able to get a pretty large bag of frozen cherries. That was from 2 pounds of cherries that I got from the grocery store. We had some pea pods that were left over that we got at the farmer's market last week, so I went ahead and froze those. 2 bags of blanched cabbage. That was from that giant cabbage that I showed earlier. And then we have 2 broccolis. We bought too much broccoli at the grocery last week, so we ended up freezing one of the heads. And then I have my 2 jars of successfully sealed vegetable stock. I love to have a lot of stock on hand, and I'm hoping that I can make enough to get me through the winter this year, just from scraps from the summertime. So that's where I'm going to leave you this week.